Have you ever wondered about the end? Not just the end of a day or the end of a life, but the end of everything. For centuries, humanity has grappled with this profound question. We look up at the stars and ask, what comes next? For many, that leads to a more unsettling question. What is hell? Is it a real place? A subterranean kingdom of fire and torment, ruled by a horned figure with a pitchfork? Or something else, more complex than popular images suggest? The idea of hell has captured our imagination, fueled our fears, shaped notions of justice, shaped ideas of morality, and shaped views of the divine. It's woven into culture and religion, a persistent mystery. The Bible, a book that has guided billions, speaks of a place of fire. To find the origins of hellfire, we must travel not to a mythical underworld but to a real place just outside ancient Jerusalem. This valley was the Valley of the Son of Hinnom. In Hebrew, Geh Ben Hinnom later shortened to Gehenna. Not demons, but a place with a dark, horrifying past. Old Testament records say some ancient Israelite kings, influenced by pagan practices, committed a terrible sin. They sacrificed their own children in fire to a god named Molech. By Jesus' time, Gehenna had been transformed into the city's garbage dump, refuse, animal carcasses, the bodies of executed criminals. The Bible is rich with symbolic language. The writers often used powerful, earthly images to describe profound spiritual realities. Think of Jesus calling himself the bread of life, or the light of the world. We understand he wasn't speaking of a literal loaf of bread or a physical ray of sunshine. He was using metaphor to convey a deeper truth about spiritual nourishment and guidance. Could the same be true for the language of hellfire? Many theologians and scholars believe fire is not a literal element of the afterlife. Instead, it's a powerful metaphor for being utterly separated from God. God is the source of life. God is the source of love. God is the source of joy. Consider the nature of this separation. If God is goodness, separation is the absence of goodness. If God is love, separation is the absence of love. If God is light, separation is total darkness. It's the natural consequence of choosing to reject God. Christian tradition is not a single monolithic block of belief. Instead, it's actually a spectrum of interpretations. The most well-known view, the traditionalist view, is eternal conscious torment. The punishment of the wicked is unending. On the opposite side is annihilationism, also called conditional immortality. It argues immortality isn't inherent to the soul but a gift from God given through faith. Final punishment is not eternal suffering but eternal destruction. Somewhere in the middle is universalism or universal reconciliation. It says God's love and mercy will ultimately triumph and all souls will be reconciled. Hell, if real, is temporary purification. Is God a stern judge, a powerful king, or a loving father? Maybe God is all of these things and our finite human minds just struggle to reconcile these seemingly contradictory aspects. Think about the sheer power of fire. It consumes, it purifies, it transforms, it provides warmth, it provides light, it also brings total destruction. Ancient scripture writers chose fire deliberately, a potent symbol. This wasn't casual. It conveys finality, irreversible consequence, and profound separation from all that is good, all that is life, and all that is God. The fire represents an end so complete, nothing of the old remains. That brings a fundamental question for believers and non-believers alike. What kind of God would create such a place? The God of love, mercy, and forgiveness. Is that same God a condemner of souls to endless suffering? This paradox lies at the heart of the mystery. So Jesus used an image people knew well. When he warned about being cast into Gehenna, the unquenchable fire, his listeners didn't picture a distant mythological hell. They pictured the smoldering trash heap outside the city walls. A powerful, local, visceral image to communicate a spiritual truth. He meant, a life of sin, a life worthless and discarded, leads to complete destruction, like refuse burned to ash. Gehenna's fire wasn't about preserving for torture, it was about utter destruction. This context is crucial. The fire Jesus described was annihilation, not eternal preservation in torment. Everything that is worthless, corrupt, and contrary to God's goodness is utterly consumed and done away with. So why, in our modern scientific age, does the ancient concept of hellfire continue to hold such a powerful grip on our collective imagination? Why does it still matter? The reason, I believe, is that the question of hell is fundamentally a question about justice. Deep within the human spirit is an innate cry for fairness. We see terrible evil in the world, genocide, abuse, cruelty, and we feel that such actions just cannot go unanswered. The idea of a final judgment, of a place where evil is finally and definitively dealt with, speaks to this deep-seated need. Hell in this sense represents the belief that our choices matter, that there are ultimate consequences for our actions, and that justice will in the end prevail. Furthermore, the topic of hell forces us to confront the most significant questions of our existence. What is the purpose of my life? What is the nature of good and evil? Is there a God, and if so, what is my relationship to that God? Whether it is a literal fire or a metaphorical one, its message remains the same: our choices have eternal significance. And that is a truth that will continue to haunt and inspire humanity until the very end of time.